So the Phoenix Suns are playing really well right now. They're currently 41-9 and on an 11-game winning streak. So one of the hottest teams in the NBA, certainly playing like the best team in the NBA right now. Heading into tonight's game against the Nets, they were third in offensive rating and second in defensive rating. So top three in both offense and defense, which is just pretty insane. You don't see that very often. Usually top 10 in both is the mark of a championship caliber team, and the Suns are top three in both. So yeah, they've just been absolutely great this regular season. I think the first place to look might be Devin Booker, who's averaging 25 points a game this season, 38% from three on 7 attempts per game, which is a career high in attempts. And that's one of the differences from this year to last year. He's shooting more threes. He was only at about 5.5 attempts a game last year, and I think that's made a big difference, helping his efficiency and helping the Suns out. And really, he's just become more of a winning player. Earlier in his career, he was criticized for being sort of an empty stats guy, and I don't think that was unfair, but he's really turned that reputation around the last 2 years, committing a lot more defensively, being a winning player offensively, being able to score on all three levels. And yeah, I think he's one of the biggest parts why they're playing so well. And he's certainly, the leading scorer and the main driver of scoring on the Suns. And then there's also Chris Paul, who I think him and Booker have really good synergy, and they have a really good balance where Booker is carrying the scoring load, whereas Chris Paul can go and, it's okay if he has 12 points on a certain night. The Suns can still win, and he's still very valuable because of his playmaking. He's averaging 15 points and 10 assists on the season, Chris Paul. But I think maybe the biggest testament to how good he's been is how good JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo have been playing. Players who are average NBA centers just look really good when they're playing with him because he's such a good passer. He always finds his teammates in the right position, and that's been one of his biggest contributions this season. He's also changed the culture massively, and Monty Williams, the coach, also deserves credit for this. You think the Suns, losing team for quite a while, had some high draft picks, but weren't a great team. And then in the bubble, they went 8-0, still didn't make it, but that's where their streak started. And then they traded for Chris Paul last year and were really good and made the finals. And then this year, they've just continued that. You think, there could be like a finals hangover, but it certainly hasn't been the case this season. Playing really, really well, and I think Chris Paul and Monty Williams deserve a lot of credit for that. There's also Mikal Bridges, who has been an all-defense caliber player this year. He's the guy they put on the toughest assignment, whether it's James Harden or Steph Curry or whoever. Mikal Bridges is the guy, and yeah, he's a great defender. He's almost everything you'd want from a role player. Solid three-point shooter, a great cutter. Really just a great complementary piece. And yeah, through this stretch, even with missing players, the Suns' core of CP3 and Booker, Monty Williams, and then Bridges too, has just really kept them together and helped them on this 11-game win streak. And another guy I'd like to shout out is Cam Johnson, who is really helping them a lot from three, because they're actually they don't shoot a ton of threes, the Suns, but they do make a high percentage of them, and Cam Johnson is a big part of that. He's shooting 43% from three this season, which has been really important to them. Yeah, so overall, I just think the Suns are playing really well right now, and I think they are a team that does look playoff ready too. I don't think this is just a regular season thing, because they have the ability to turn it on defensively. They have switchable wings in Bridges, Crowder, Cam Johnson. And their ability to just turn it on, especially defensively, and just, sort of win games. They're a really good clutch team, and that's a lot in part due to Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who can get to the mid-range, and as well due to their defense. And it feels like in the NBA, there are teams who are great regular season teams and who have great systems and just feel like a well-oiled machine. I think of maybe the Utah Jazz in that respect. And then there's teams who can really turn it on in the playoffs and can play winning basketball in the playoffs and are built for that. And I feel like the Suns sort of are both, because in the regular season they do click so well and they do have the system that allows them to roll off so many wins like they are right now. But I feel like in the playoffs they're actually adequately prepared and maybe even better prepared than last season. Obviously being able to score in a diversity of ways, from the mid-range, from three. But I also feel like they have the ability to hunt mismatches. They'll often do it with Booker, and Booker, I feel like he has a bit more, he's posting up a little bit more, and he's gotten a little bit stronger. And I feel like that's something the Suns can use in the postseason, which is exciting when in the regular season you see stuff that you think can translate to the postseason with their ability to hunt mismatches. So overall, they're playing really well. In terms of weaknesses, I mean, they don't get to the free throw line a ton, and I think of a matchup that could give them problems. I mean, it'd have to be Giannis in the Bucks. Obviously, last year they lost to them in the finals, and yeah, if they face them again, I think they could give them problems just because of how good Giannis is and how I feel like Bridges might not be strong enough to guard him, and Ayton might not be quick enough to guard him. But we'll see. They do have McGee and Biyombo now, who at least have 6 fouls and are big bodies, and then they have Bridges, who is a good wing defender, but we'll see. I think if there was a matchup that could really give them problems, it would be the Bucks. But yeah, right now they're playing really well. Best record in the NBA, 11 in a row. And yeah, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Monty Williams, just everyone on the Suns deserves a lot of credit for that. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe.